Loading Up Podcast. Game on.
Perfect. Welcome back to the Loading Up Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Brother Zay. Today we have with us Producer J.
What's up, man?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm a little stressed out because
Oh no.
right before the show had a little bit of technical difficulties, but they're seemingly sort of kind of sorted away, but we made it there, right?
We did. Now, before we get into the show, let's not forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share. It's all free to do, especially on YouTube and the podcasting apps. You can rate us and share us there as well. And let's not forget about our sponsors. We have W Energy Drink, where you get 10% off your order when you use code LUP at checkout. You can also click the links down in the description for NordVPN, where you can save 67% off a 2-year plan. Absolutely amazing, especially in this time where you need a really good security behind you. Also, down below in the link is Starforge Systems, where you can get your custom built or pre-built PCs right down there in the link below. Don't forget, again, like and subscribe. It's free.
Yeah.
Now, let's get into it. Bruiser J, what you been playing? Talk to me.
So I've been playing again. I feel like I always say this. I'm a broken record. I play the same games. Like I stick with what like I'm really into, and I wanna finish Kingdom Hearts because like right now I reached like right at the end. I'm literally at the final boss, but there's a bunch of other stuff that I gotta do. I want to grind to get to level 100, so that way I can beat all the bonus bosses and I can get the special weapons and get all the rest of the achievements.
Yeah.
Because ultimately that's my goal. Like I want to 100% like every Kingdom Hearts game, because I've done it for Mass Effect, I've done it for Metal Gear Solid so far. I mean, I'm waiting for the next collection to come out, which they did actually hint at coming at next year, but whatever. That's another story. But once those games come out, I will 100%, cuz I made it my like gaming goal to complete my top 3 franchises, which is Mass Effect, Metal Gear Solid, and Kingdom Hearts. I
Okay.
did it with Mass Effect, kind of. I didn't do all of them. I didn't do Andromeda. I'm waiting to do that because I need to like build up to that. And
It's not a bad game.
I know, no, it's not a bad game. It's not a bad. It's just very different, and
Yeah.
I think that's what's holding me back. Also, I'm still holding out hope, which I don't know why, that they will release like a patch that will make it run better on current gen platforms. Because right now it's still stuck at 30 frames per second, and that just, in my eyes, is unacceptable. I mean,
Just
maybe
play your ROG Ally.
I mean, I could actually.
There you go.
I could.
Problem
I didn't think
solved.
about that.
You're welcome.
Because it is Play Anywhere. It is on EA Play, so I could do that. But yeah, so I'll get to it eventually though. But yeah, right now I'm like 100% focused on Kingdom Hearts. I mentioned last week that I found out that they added it to the stream your own game. So like literally that's what I've been playing at work now.
Yeah.
I play Kingdom Hearts at home, I play Kingdom Hearts at work, and that's been my life right now for the past few weeks. It's just grinding, getting all the weapons, getting the beating all the hidden bosses, and getting to level 100, just so that way I can freaking slice through the final boss like butter. Because that's that's a good feeling too, right? Because like I mentioned before that like I was reaching a point where the level of like my level is where I'm supposed to be at for
Yeah.
the end of the game, but I want to be past that. I want I want to be able to freaking run through these final bosses as like easy as possible.
Man's grinding.
Hell yeah, like it and it's fun too. That's the thing. Like most games, grinding is never fun. It's always like a slog, and it's like whatever, but the satisfaction of being able to just like run through these enemies and gain levels and stuff like that, like with the greatest of ease, It's
Mhm.
just it's just a nice feeling. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing. Like I literally have not been playing anything else. Not even
Okay.
Baldur's Gate, which is actually surprising, because like after what I mentioned before about the Raphael boss fight, like I I, I would have thought I would have been playing it more, but no, I've just been hooked on Kingdom Hearts.
Now I'm mad at you.
I'll get to it eventually.
That's all right. All right. Very good. So if you're, I guess if you're watching on YouTube, you can see me play Sworn, that was recently added to Game Pass, and it is very much like Hades. It's almost a copy of it. It's set in the King Arthur realm and world with Merlin and King Arthur and his knights, and it's very dark. But what's cool about this one is multiplayer is added, so you could play with friends and you can have more than one. I think it's up to 4 nights with you fighting, and it is a lot of fun. If you liked Hades, you'll like Sworn, so you should give it a try. It is tough. It is hard. You'll see me die a lot, but that's the point. You gotta. The further you get, the more powers you unlock, the better chance you are to defeating the next boss.
That's not, I mean, it's funny too, because like, didn't they just recently add Hades back into Game Pass as
They
well?
did, they did, and that's
So
because Hades 2 is getting a full release now. It's not in early access or anything.
yeah,
So it's like, here's Hades. Hades 2 is coming out in a couple days. You can play this, then buy that part 2. So,
yeah,
but it's still fun to play.
yeah.
I've
If you and then this is like if you beat Hades, this is more of what you like about it, right?
exactly. I've also been playing Visions of Mana that dropped on Game Pass as well. I'm like 7 hours into that game, and it's a lot of fun. I've always wanted to play Visions of Mana, and it's never been the right price for me. And I say that because it's always been like $70 or $59.99. Doesn't go lower than that, even on sales. So it's like, but when I saw they were added to Game Pass, I was like, perfect. It's my perfect chance and opportunity to get a chance to jump into the Visions of Mana series. And so far, so good. I'm really enjoying playing Visions of Mana. It's fun. The story's interesting. The combat is good. I just I want to play right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing. Visions of Mana, Sworn. Call of Duty every now and then when I have some time to join up with multiplayer with some friends. But
Yeah.
that's pretty
I
much it.
feel I feel bad. Like I remember like earlier this year, I was in such a big Call of Duty kick. I was
Yeah.
like grinding all the gold weapons, and then just for some reason I just stopped. I was like, I'm tired.
It gets
But
that way.
yeah, I, at
Well, I
least
think
at
that's
least
every year with Call of Duty.
that's true. That's
With
true.
at least for me.
Yeah, I do find I did feel like it was I got an accomplishment because I did do all the assault rifle ones. So I
Mm-hmm.
got all of those, and then I moved on to the what's the next
Machine
one?
guns,
Not the submachine guns. What's the ones that's
LMGs,
no, it's like I know they're separate now.
marksman
It's
rifles.
marksman, right? Yes, that one.
Yeah.
So I got into that one, and then
Okay.
I did some of those, and then I just stopped. But
Okay.
here's hoping that Black Ops 7 is will get me back into it, you know?
I honestly feel this is what happens every year with Call of Duty. You play it so much for so long that by the time it's like around this time, September, October, November, you're like, okay, I'm done with this game. Let's get the next Call of Duty.
Yes. You
So
know
we can
what?
do it all over again.
And that is the problem with yearly releases because you feel such a time crunch where it's just like I need to finish such and such by this time because that's when the new stuff drops and it's like
Yeah.
but it is what it is. The beta's
Yeah.
coming soon. Maybe I'll play it.
You will.
I will. Yeah, let's not beat around the bush. Who am I
All right.
kidding?
Let's jump straight into some news. We have a bit to talk about this week. We have the first bit of news is Doug Bowser bids farewell to Nintendo as he is officially announcing his departure as president and chief operating officer of Nintendo of America on December 31st. And he came into the role, I think, in 2019. So it's like 6 years now
Yeah.
that he has fulfilled his duty, seeing the successful Switch launch, and then of course the successful Switch 2 launch here in the United States. And he's done some good work, and he said some funny things, and he's a character. It's crazy
Yeah.
that Doug Bowser is the president of,
He
or
was. Yeah.
was the president of Nintendo of America. So they already announced their successor. And seems to be moving in a direction for Nintendo where they're hoping to capitalize on the future of gaming when concerns like next gen.
Hmm. That's
Specifically
interesting.
with this their next successor. So we shall see how in January this new person does for Nintendo of America.
Yeah, it's funny because like when this was announced, everybody was talking about like, did he really do anything? Like, but I think the problem is that they're comparing him to the former uh president of Nintendo America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, who was like the most charismatic. Sorry,
Yeah.
um, uh, like president of Nintendo, where he was like always in the E3 shows, always in the directs, and always like front and center, and like you associated Nintendo with Reggie,
Yeah.
and I think they expected the same thing with Doug Bowser, but you rarely even saw him. Like honestly, you saw mostly just like the president of just Nintendo, like the home branch in Japan, doing all the directs and all that stuff, and it was less focus on the Nintendo of America part. So I think that's what people expected, and then they didn't get it. So they just like, oh, like what did he do? He didn't really do anything. Like it just felt like he just got the position. So now that he's retiring and he's leaving, and that's what people are just like questioning. But I mean, are you really supposed to like know these like figureheads? Like it's a branch of Nintendo. It's not the main like hub of Nintendo, which is set in Japan. This is just the American branch, which it's an important branch, but it's not the main focus for Nintendo. Nintendo's always going to be Japanese first. Um, so I think that's what people are mistaking or making the mistake of doing. So that's why it feels like he just got here and that he really didn't do anything. But I mean, he's the president. Like what? He's not really supposed to like. He's supposed to like manage everything. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe you can like. I don't think you can really blame him for like the pricing and stuff like that. That's more of like a whole Nintendo type decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it at least they already know like what's gonna happen, and supposedly, I mean, I've heard good things about his successor. I forget her name.
Evan something.
Yeah, hold on, let me look it up real quick because I know she was like the chief financial officer or something like that. Hold on, sorry, it's like very quiet. But
No, it's fine. We have it's oh man, I'm getting a blank on her name.
no,
Um,
it is Devin. I remember Devin Pritchard. That's what it is.
that's what
Um,
it is.
Yeah, so they already picked her, so it's we'll see how she fares and stuff like that. But it's like again, it's just it's more of a figurehead role. Like yeah, they're supposed to manage the American aspect of stuff, but it's like they're not making the top level decisions. That like come down from like Nintendo headquarters. But yeah, I mean this is big news, and yeah, Bowser is leaving.
Yes, not to be mistaken with Bowser kidnaps Princess Peach all the time.
Yes.
Um, but we'll see how this shapes up in next year, and hopefully it doesn't disturb any business decisions based, like for games releasing, because that's what us Nintendo fans, or well, Nintendo fans in general, really
Yeah.
think want was just releasing of the games, and hopefully they'll do well. Looking forward to the games releasing this month, and in December, Legends, Pokemon, and the Metroid Prime. So we just got more to see and more to come for Nintendo.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't really think this affects much of
No,
Nintendo's outlook in the future of like the Switch 2 and stuff.
no, no, it wouldn't. At least we don't. We hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We have Splash Damage is a UK studio, and it's best known for its expertise in multiplayer shooters like Gears Tactics. It's splitting away from Tencent, the Chinese-owned video game giant, and they're going private. And it seems that's like on par recently. What the heck?
Yeah.
So they did say that none of their projects, everything's still going according as planned, including all their projects and everybody, but they would just be moving away from Tencent, um, and just being private, which is it's a private equity firm that is like buying them out. It's so weird to me. I don't understand this.
Yeah, I think it's basically they're just buying themselves out with like their own like they're buying themselves out with a loan. So that way they can run themselves. Obviously they still got to pay whatever they bought themselves out with cuz it is a loan. But they just don't they want to work independently, and I think that's probably the best for them because I mean I did play like their other games like Gears Tactics, and
Yeah.
I think while it was good, like there is more that they can do with it, and I feel like there's other IPs that they can work on, and I think maybe that's what they want to do. Like maybe they don't want to be relegated to whatever Tencent gives them because Tencent makes a lot of like gotcha games and but like you know, so I think that's why they want to distance themselves from that. And there was actually funny enough, I don't know, maybe it wasn't Tencent, maybe it was what was the big Chinese company? Um, I'm blanking on the name. But
No,
there's another one that also makes a bunch of games that are like kind of like rip-offs. And there was one that came up in like on Twitter that people were talking about. I think it's called Natana or something like that, where it looks directly like a mashup between GTA, Spider-Man, and Uncharted. It's very weird. Like
the
literally,
hell.
like it looks like they took directly from like the swinging from Spider-Man. They took that the action sequences from Uncharted. They took that. It looks like one for one. It's just a different character. And then like the open world of GTA. Like it's so
Oh, is
very
that the
strange.
anime GTA game?
Yes,
Yes, they
yes.
showcased. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's par for the course, and not to like shit on like Chinese games and stuff like that, but they kind of tend to do that. And I feel like maybe Splash Damage was I don't know if they were being regulated to that or they were going to be regulated to that, but I think they just wanted to avoid that altogether and just make what they want to make, you know? And I feel like it's a lot easier for indie developers to seek publishing from a third party um for games that they want to make instead of the other way around, you know? So, I mean, good for them if they're able to succeed. I'm looking forward to whatever they come up with next. But yeah, no, it is interesting that they decided to do this now of all times.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I want to see what comes up because I know that they were working previously on Transformers Reactive, but in January this year they had canceled that project. So I'm wondering where they go forward with what they're creating. You know, if they're going private, they got to be working on something that's not been released to the public. So looking forward to see what they're going to be working on next in terms of like what games they're making.
So
If you're
they're
going private,
actually
you have to be working on something.
their last game was Star Wars Hunters, which I believe was a freaking Overwatch clone.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it was. I remember hearing about this. They also did work on the Master Chief Collection and Gears 5. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
definitely interesting.
yeah. But yeah, we'll see what happens with them.
Definitely. We got more buyouts to talk about because EA is reportedly closing in on a $50 billion deal to go private. And that's absolutely insane. So $50
Yes.
billion. So EA is reportedly closing in on a $50 billion deal to go private and what could become the biggest leveraged buyout of all time. So details on what could be a monumental shift on for the Madden and Battlefield publisher came from the Wall Street Journal report. The site's sources says investors, including private equity firms, Silver Lake and Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, Affinity Partners, and an investment firm led by Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is also said to be into the mix. So, our $50 billion with a bunch of different investors looking to make EA private. I don't know how this can play out for uh us, for the consumers. You know, we always joked and talked about how EA is kind of like a shitty company. But would this make EA better or will it make it worse? Who knows what will happen with
Yeah.
EA going, private with a $50 billion deal. This is kind of insane. I think this is almost unheard of.
Yeah, it's very unheard of. I mean, kind of, because I mean, Activision just got bought out by Microsoft, but they're still a public company, so it's like, yeah, they got off of like being a public company themselves, but they just merged with another public company. So it's not really the same thing, but yeah, this is kind of like a unique situation where a public company goes private. Um in terms of like a publisher, on a
Yeah, yeah.
publisher level. Yeah, we just mentioned Splash Damage, but they're an individual developer. Now we're talking about a public company that publishes a bunch of games. We don't know what's going to happen. This is kind of unprecedented. We don't have any other examples to go off of, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at like how the gaming industry is laid out and what we've seen over the past few years in terms of like studio closures and mass layoffs and stuff like that, going private could mitigate it in a sense where they're not forced to meet certain expectations from investors. The only problem with that is from public investors, like, because everybody can buy EA stock and stuff like that. The problem is, though, now they would be going to a private investor, and now they have to they now have their standards to abide by. We don't know what those standards are. And it's kind of we won't know because now it's a private company. So, we don't know what the barometer of success is going to be to these private investors, and it could be good for them. It could give them more room to kind of like be more creative and stuff like that, or they can want them to, trim the fat even more, and we could see even more layoffs and more studio closures. Maybe they want them to focus on just the big hits like Battlefield and make another Mass Effect. I mean, I know they're making another Mass Effect, but like just focus on the heavy hitters. Stop doing all this creative stuff and just focus on like the AAA bangers. Maybe they will force them to invest heavily on live service games. I mean, they were kind of already, but like maybe that is like doubled down on. We don't know.
What does this say for Mass Effect 4?
I mean,
especially after the
that's
failure of Dragon Age Origins, or
this.
not Origins, Dragon Age, the last Dragon Age.
I mean, if there was not enough pressure put on Mass Effect and BioWare for them to deliver, then this is it. Like this is like the ultimate pressure for that game to deliver. I don't know like what will happen. It's really kind of, I mean, that's the thing. Like with private equity, like you can eat those losses. There's less risk involved because, like, oh yeah, you didn't make as much profit, but because it's a privately owned thing, there's like less backlash because of it. Like, it's not like their stocks are gonna drop. Like the value is still there for like what the private investors perceive. Like if they see, like if they know BioWare is still like something worth keeping, then it's not like they're just gonna like lay off a bunch of people or close it down just because they had one bad game. Whereas with a public investor who doesn't really know about video games, then they might be like, "Oh, it's not making money, shut it down." Um, but that's assuming the private investors know about video games. We don't know. There's a
I
lot of
mean,
unknown factors in this. That's
there
the
is,
difficulty about this.
and Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, they have heavily invested into video games before, because we reported on it a while back when it happened, how Pokemon Go developer Niantic, or yeah, they sold all their library of games to game maker Scopely, which is controlled by Saudi Arabia's private investment fund.
Right.
So
They
there's
are making moves. Yeah.
they have the ability to be good, but does it really equate that this is gonna make them good?
Right. Only time will tell, but this is really like a huge deal that is happening. And we don't even know if it's happening for real. Like this is just a report that they're nearing a deal. I remember a while ago, there was talks about Amazon potentially buying out EA, and then that proved to be false. So I don't know. But this is like the second time that EA has been in the news about a buyout. So I don't know. It seems like they're trying. And then I know a lot of people were talking about like maybe this could be good if like all the other options were like freaking like Amazon and Microsoft and Sony and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't, there's too much unknowns to really give a good indication of if this is gonna be a good or bad thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because it could amount to absolutely nothing. It could fall through.
Yeah, and then nothing changes.
Exactly. It'll still be EA.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on, because this week we got to see the pre-orders release for the Xbox ROG Ally X, and we got to see the price officially come out. This handheld PC launches October 16th. The pre-orders went live, and it's a doozy. It's $9.99 for the Xbox Ally X and $5.99 for the ROG Xbox Ally, the white version. You can still pre-order on Best Buy, but on Asus and on Xbox, all pre-orders are sold out. So I think Best Buy got the biggest of the stock, and some are still available on Best Buy if you want to pre-order.
And I believe it's also out of stock in like the European markets as well.
Yes.
So I'm gonna just say it. I pre-ordered one. We've been talking about it for a while. Actually, I just told my wife earlier today that I did it, and she was just shook her head. She was like, "Why?"
Oh no, you're in trouble.
No, I mean, I pled my case, and I I I I figured it out. It's not, it's I feel like it's a worthwhile investment. And that's a big argument that's been happening online. Is it worth $1,000? I don't It's hard to say because if you're not gaming on it very frequently,
Yeah.
then it can be a big ask. Because I mean, obviously the direct comparison is the Switch or the Steam Deck. and those are significantly cheaper. Especially now, I think the Steam Deck is like the cheapest model that you can get is like 300 something. And I mean that's on sale, but if like gaming on the go is something that you want to dabble in, then I feel like that's the best bet outside of like a regular Switch. And even then, didn't they just raise the prices? So maybe not. Um yeah. So it's a lot. But you have to remember, and I think a lot of people forget, this is an enthusiast product. Just like the PS5 Pro, just like the Xbox Elite controller, just like all like a lot of electronic items where like you can get a cheaper model that will be serviceable. But if you want like top of the line quality, you're gonna have to pay more. That's just the fact of like the electronic business. Like that's how they market that stuff. You don't need it, but if you want it, it's there. And I think that's why people are surprised that it's selling out. It's like that I fully believe that Xbox and Asus, they set a certain amount of stock available because they anticipated that it probably wasn't going to sell as much because of the high price. And now that it's selling out, they were surprised by it. They probably didn't anticipate it. And now they're touting about it on like social media saying, "Oh, the hype is real and the ROG Ally is selling out." Um I even checked on like Amazon and stuff like that, and it's also sold out there. The X version, the regular version is still available. And that's another thing too. A lot of people forget that that is also a viable option. Like if you don't have a current like handheld gaming system, that is also a viable option. If you already have an Ally then or a Steam Deck or whatever, then maybe it's not worth it. But if you don't, that is also an option
Yeah.
because it also has the benefits of like, being Windows and Game Pass and having the OS and stuff like that.
There's definitely significant upgrades when, let's say, if
Yes.
you just have the base model Steam Deck, or you don't have any on the go handheld PC gaming, and you're looking to get into that market. If you want a Windows version that's going to be able to play your Game Pass games, your Steam games, games from EA or Ubisoft, whatever the case may be, you'll be able to do that on the ROG Ally Xbox X.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. Yes, it's a significant investment. It's $900. I was
You were
tempted
tempted.
myself, but I personally don't have a real need for it because I don't really game on the go like that. I game
Yeah.
mostly on my Series X. I have the PS5. I have a gaming PC. I have a Nintendo Switch 2 now. So it's like I don't really need this. So for me personally, I don't have a need to spend $1,000 or even the $600 for the regular ROG Ally Xbox.
Right. Yeah, and
So it's more like if you need it, if you can see that has a value, like you said, then you can buy it.
yeah, I think ultimately it comes down to what the consumer values because like there's people were talking about, oh, it's like if you want that you could just spend that much on a gaming PC and you can get better quality and stuff like that. But people don't necessarily want a gaming PC. Like that's the key is having options. And that's what I always like argue back is that having options is the best marketing because when you have multiple points of entry to any given medium, whether it be movies, TV shows, games, books, whatever, that is ultimately better than being restricted to whatever they tell you to buy. And that's where the value comes in because I could buy a PC, but I already have a PC.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, I already have a ROG Ally, but I see that there is value in the upgrades that they're talking about. And I remember that video that they talked about. It was the AMD one where they mentioned that all the future chipsets that they're making for Xbox, that they're collaborating with Xbox, will be supporting. I mean, granted, we don't know the full extent of this. I'm sure we'll find out more next year, which I think that's when we'll hear about the next gen Xbox consoles and stuff. That they will be supporting backwards compatibility. And right now, although they haven't announced it, I do believe that they will find a way to make Xbox like consoles 360, OG Xbox, Xbox One, Series X and S. They'll make all those games playable on future hardware, which will be the hybrid PCs that we've been hearing about. And that includes I almost like they didn't say it outright because they're teasing, but I do believe that it includes this device as well. Because this has the first chip that they're working with. It's the AMD Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme that only this one will have. Other handhelds will not have this. They have similar APUs, but they're not this one, the one that Xbox and AMD are collaborating with. So I think there is going to be something to the future aspect, and like this is kind of like future proofing in a sense, where like you're going to get all these games coming to this platform, and they're going to be, and they even have their own verification system like Valve does for the Steam Deck. Obviously it'll be a little bit better because it's more capable. Yeah, I think ultimately it like I said before, it comes down to what the consumer values. It is still a niche product, which is why it's selling out very fast, because the stock for it was set low on purpose because they anticipated low sales, but the sales have exceeded it and now it's selling out. So now they're probably going to have to make more. Now, the issue that comes up of what does this mean for hardware going forward? If people are willing to buy Xbox ROG Ally X or whatever, will they be willing to buy or spend a similar amount of money for a next gen Xbox? That is the question that people are asking, and I feel like it is valid. While I do feel like granted, I am, what's the word? I am capable of being able to afford this. Not everybody is. And I think that is the concern for like the future of consoles going forward, because I do believe, I mean, Nintendo has teased that they're going to raise the Switch 2 prices. And Sony they're selling a $700 console. I do believe that that's the baseline for the PS6. I don't think it's going to cost less than $700. What does this mean for consoles going forward? And I think that is a valid concern. But that is also including, the whole Trump tariff stuff and a lot of outside factors that come into play. Because originally the leaked price that we were hearing was $900.
Yeah, $899.
Yeah, $899, and then it just went up $100. So we don't know anything. A lot of this is kind of like changing as we go. So it's just everything is just up in the air right now, and you kind of just got to take it as it comes. But there is some concern that people there may be a fear that the gaming industry is basically pricing out the gamers essentially. And I mean, I don't really know what the solution to that is.
Get more money. I'm
Yeah, but stop being broke.
Yeah. Don't be
No,
broke.
I mean, that's the thing too, because like if you spend this much money up front, then I mean, does that mean you spend less on games? Or do you spend less up front and more on games? Like that's kind of the trade-off, you know?
But also, like, I feel like Xbox in particular is setting up they have been for some time setting up the world to say, listen, wherever you're looking at on, whether it's a phone or a tablet, it's all an Xbox.
Yes, that is true.
Because the systems are becoming more and more niche, they're not selling as much, but the same monthly active users are up and the revenue is up. So people are still playing games, but the systems aren't selling because it's niche now. You know, even the newer generations of kids growing up today, they got iPads and
Right.
phones and stuff. They're not looking to get into consoles. We were just talking about how, like my son doesn't care about the Switch 2, even though I just got it. He tried out Mario Kart once and then he was like, back to my PC.
Right.
I'm gonna play Roblox with my friends on my iPad. It's like these kids in these younger generations aren't really looking to get into consoles like we were when we were kids. We
Right.
wanted the Nintendos, we wanted the GameCubes and the 64s. We wanted
Mhm.
the PlayStation 2. Like we were seething at the teeth to get our hands on a PS2. But the kids nowadays, they're not like that. And I think Microsoft has shifted their view to say, listen, if you want to play Xbox games, you could do that anywhere. You don't
Yeah.
have to buy this premium $900 console.
Yeah. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. It's like, and I remember I was talking with somebody about this too, because he was like debating on if he should pre-order the ROG Ally X. And I told him, because he said he has a 5070 PC, and he has a Steam Deck. And he was wondering, should he upgrade his Steam Deck? And I was like, honestly, if you're okay with the limitations of the Steam Deck, which there are limitations, including like the OS stuff and only being restricted to the Steam library. And yeah, you can configure it and stuff to play other stuff, but mainly you're going to be playing the Steam library. If you're okay with that, if that's fine for you, then there's no reason to upgrade. And that's okay. And that's ultimately the mindset that Microsoft and Xbox is taking, that like it's okay if you can't get a specific type of hardware, because we're going to meet you where you're at. And if you want, eventually later on, you can upgrade and you can get a better playing system, and it'll be up to you. Because even now, you can play all the games on cloud. And I've been like a what's the word, like
You've been a strong representative of that.
yeah, exactly. Like I've seen it firsthand how smooth it can be. Obviously, yes, there's still like artifacting and stuff like that. There's a little bit latency. It's almost like unnoticeable, but I can see why people would want a better program, or not program, but like a service, but they're working on that. But it's still, it works. That's the point. And even now, I mean, when I was playing Fortnite with my kids, like my oldest son, I mentioned it before that he's not able to download Fortnite on his iPad because his iPad is like technically an older version. Even though it's new, it's like the older iPad version, whatever. So he can't play Fortnite natively, but he can play on the cloud and it works fine. And we're playing normal. And that, honestly, I think that's the future. I keep saying that, like cloud is, you don't sleep on cloud. It's going to hit you hard and you're going to be like, "Whoa, where did this come from?" And people are so obsessed with like the native aspect of gaming that they're not focusing on what the future can hold. Like look at now, like with like movie streaming and TV show streaming. Like now we're getting like 4K streams. Yes, it's not as good as if you were playing like watching on a Blu-ray, but it's almost unnoticeable that you're even streaming stuff. And now it's become commonplace. Netflix is like a household program and service. Like you would be hard pressed to find a household that doesn't have Netflix at this point, because that's, now they're at a place where streaming is just normal. Everybody streams everything. I don't have cable anymore. I just stream all my shows. And that's the new norm. So I think gaming is on the cusp of that, and Microsoft is at the forefront of it, and so is like Nvidia. And I know PlayStation has their own thing, but they're not really touting it that much. Um, but yeah, so I think ultimately the bottom line is that you don't need this device. You don't need an Xbox ROG Ally, but if you want it, it's there for you to try. And I mean, I say try, but I mean, you're not gonna spend $1,000 to try it, but it's there, you know. And if you want it, you can have it. And even now, because I remember when I was before I bought my current ROG Ally, I went to a Best Buy. I forgot what I was getting, and they had like display units there. So like, I'm pretty sure they'll do the same thing for this. You can go to a Best Buy and try it out yourself eventually. I don't know if they'll do it like right off the bat, but you'll be able to do that. I mean, if you're not in the US, I don't know where they would have it. They probably have it somewhere else, like whatever the local store is. But also look at reviews. I'm sure they're coming out soon. But based on the previews, it seems like it's worth it. But I don't know. It's really up to the consumer. And that's basically what I'm saying. If you don't want it, you don't have to get it. It's not necessary. But if you do, it's there.
Yes, definitely.
That being said, I'm very excited. I can't wait. Oh man.
I can't wait for you to get it. I want to see what you think.
Yeah, hopefully we were talking in the group chat. Like hopefully I could get it soon enough. Maybe I could do like an unboxing and stuff like that cuz I'm really excited for it and I'm more worried because like I was looking up cases for it cuz I have a case on my current ROG Ally and it made I got it because the grips on the Ally is like it's non-existent. Like it's very awkward to hold. But when
I
I
would
got
get
the
a case anyway.
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm getting a case, but it's just like I didn't find one, so like I'm a little worried about like the 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 timeline of when they'll be available. Because I did find screen protectors, which I'm gonna get, obviously, but I couldn't find any cases. So hopefully those come out soon because I need a case. I can't raw dog that much of a high priced item like that, you know?
Well, they have cases for it already on Best Buy. $70 for the case.
Well, no, I'm talking about like a case, not a carrying case. Like that I
Oh,
can get,
okay.
but I'm talking about a case like a wrap that I can put around to protect it
Ah,
if I drop it or whatever.
I see. I see. Okay, okay.
Yeah, they don't have that yet, which I'm assuming they will soon.
Okay. I would have just went with the carrying case.
I mean, I'm gonna hope that it fits in the one that I have already, because I don't want to buy another one.
You're already
'Cause-
buying $1,000. You have to spend
hey,
another
listen,
70.
man.
Explain that one to the wife.
Shush.
All right, let's we have a little more talk about because we got the this past week we had the state of play, and let's talk a little bit about what we saw at the state of play. So state of play opened up with the follow up, I guess you can say, because it's not really a sequel. So the follow up to Returnal, which was Sorrows, and then we got to see an extended gameplay, which was nice to see. It wasn't just like a trailer; we got to actually see gameplay, and it looked really good. When it first like started, when I first saw it, I was like, "Is this Doom? What's going on here?" Um, which didn't make any sense at all. It just looked like Doom for some reason. But they showed some of the Sorrows, which is really cool to see. They had a first look at the Battlefield 6 campaign, which is coming out on the 10th, and I'm super excited about that. I already pre-ordered mine. Yes, I'm part of the problem too. Shut up.
Yeah.
Um, we got to see is it Nor 3? An official release date and trailer for that, which comes out on February 6th. We also got to see Final Fantasy Tactics, a new like reimagined of Final Fantasy Tactics coming out to September 30th, which is in a couple days from now. We got to see more of Crimson Desert. That was showcased on one of the big showcases, and glad we got to see some more of that. I can't wait for that game. The game looks really cool. We got Code Vein 2. We're seeing some Xbox games at a PlayStation State of Play. We have Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. It's on its way to PlayStation. This was interesting because I really like I like Flight Simulator. It's not my overall type of game, but it still was fun to try out and get to fly planes and learn how to, do all the little procedures and stuff. It's very technical. It is an actual simulator, so you have to really do all those things. It's really fun. So
Yeah.
glad to get to see more people get to play that. That will be December 8th this year, releasing on PlayStation 5. And we got us preview into Sonic Racing, Cross Worlds, and more characters coming to the game. Deus Ex Remastered is coming out for everywhere, not just PlayStation. A lot of people were interested in the Deus Ex universe and games, and these games are old. They're like on the Xbox and
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
Xbox 360, so it didn't really age well, so it's getting a remaster. They We also saw Halloween, the game where you get to be Mike Myers.
Yeah, it's basically the Friday the 13th, but with Mike Myers.
Yeah. Which looks pretty cool, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. You got
Yeah, no,
you
I
get a
love
bunch
Friday
of
the 13th. That was a
yeah,
fun ass game.
yeah, you get to go kill a bunch of NPCs in the town and stuff. Look fun to me.
Yeah.
Got to see a Dynasty Warriors 3 complete editions or remastered from a PS2 classic coming to the PS5. We also got to see Seven Deadly Sins Origin. And they showcase 2 accessories at the State of Play, and the accessories. The first one that they showcased was uh the God of War 20th anniversary DualSense controller. And I'll stop right here real quick just to mention they could have did better.
They could have.
They could have did
Honestly,
better.
Sony has a track record with the most laziest like special edition controllers,
Yeah,
consoles, like whatever. They just don't know how to do them. Like maybe they're going for like the minimalist aspect and stuff like that, but it always falls flat. It just does not look appealing. And I
not
don't
at
understand
all. I
why.
saw it. I was like, "That's it."
Yeah, I don't understand why they continue to do it. Like it's literally it's the Kratos red stripe on one side. That's
That's
it.
it. That's it.
That
That's
you're
it.
paying extra money for that.
Yeah, it's I looked at it, I was like, they for the 20th anniversary of one of their most famous franchises, God of War, across all of the PlayStation generations, and you get this? That it's a slap in the face to us, really. I love God of War. Everybody knows I'm a big Xbox fan, but I had a PS2, I had a PS3, I had a PS4, and I have a PS5 currently. Okay, and I played all the God of Wars. I love God of War, and this is a slap in the face.
Yeah. They honestly I felt like and I know maybe they're trying to get away from announcing games too early. There was rumors that there was another God of War. There was a 2D God of War that they were working on. If that was true or whatever the next God of War, because we know there's gonna be another one. At least tease it. They did it for Ragnarok. They just showed the logo, and then that was it. But I mean, give something, you know? And I think that's what's because if it wasn't the 20th anniversary, fine. But because there is like this is a significant milestone for that franchise, you got to do a little bit more.
Yeah,
And what they did was just the bare minimum.
really, it really was. It was terrible. And they also showcased the other accessory that they showcased was the Pulse Elevate speakers. They're wireless speakers, Sony branded wireless speakers for PC and PS5 and the Portal. So they'll be able to connect to all three and that's just uh another indication from Sony that they're gonna be sending more games to the PC.
They're
Um,
embracing PC,
they're
yeah.
embracing it, yeah, big time. Because we never seen something like this before out of Sony, like uh, Sony branded speakers. Like they look cool, and the
Yeah,
fact that they can connect wirelessly to so 3 different of your Sony products or 2 different Sony products plus your PC is really plus.
Yeah, I think it was on its own, it was a good product, but like cuz okay, I'm gonna just say right now. Like up until this point, it was just like a kind of whatever state of play. Like there was some cool games and some interesting games. Soros looked okay. I mean, if you like Returnal, I mean, I never played Returnal, but if you like Returnal, it looked like more of that. There was a lot of anime games. Naturally because it's Tokyo Game Show season, whatever. Um, and then like seeing this is just like, okay, what is going on? Like I feel like Sony was not intentionally. It felt like Sony was intentionally holding back, and like, I mean, that's also the fault of like the consumer, not the consumer, but like people online where I mean, we see it all the time. We see the leaked list of games that they're going to announce and stuff like that. I mean, most of the time now it's a joke because there's always like freaking Bloodborne and Bloodborne cart and stuff like that. All the joke announcements and stuff like that. But to announce a speaker at a state of play, it just felt like, what are we doing? Like maybe they just had to have something there to kind of like be the buffer between the first half of the state of play and then just the last thing that they showed. But it's just like, I don't know, it just felt so deflating. And I was like, I was watching it live. Normally I watch this stuff on a delay so that way I could just skip through the stuff I don't care about. I was watching live and I was just like, oh, come on. End this already. Please. This is so like I don't care about anything. But
Yeah.
I mean, as we'll get to it, that they kind of redeem themselves, at least in my opinion.
I think it did because the last thing they showed, sort of like a one more thing, was Marvel's Wolverine from Insomniac Games, and it looked good, right? And
Yes.
I have hopes for it. I hope it is good. It definitely looked really good. So we just was very violent, very gory,
Yes. Very
very
gory.
violent. I didn't expect it, but when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that is a lot
Literally
of
like
blood."
like a second into the trailer, they showed blood all over the
Yeah,
place. And I was
yeah.
just like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so definitely the showing of Wolverine sort of saved the state of play from being very mid to being a decent state of play. You know, I think it's one of the first decent state of plays we've had in such a long time.
Yes.
And I think it's because of Wolverine and Soros. Yes, not everybody cares about it, but it still looked really good. So I gave it like the overall. I gave it like a 7. The
Yeah,
state of play
I'm the same.
was a 7. I was gonna rate it lower. If Marvel Wolverines was not there, it would have probably been a 6, maybe a 5.5.
Yeah.
But Wolverine really saved it.
Yeah, Wolverine definitely was the standout, and it got me excited about whatever Insomniac is cooking. Because as much as we rag on PlayStation, stuff like that, Insomniac has been carrying the brand since the PS5 launched. Like, they are the golden child of
Yes.
PlayStation Studios. So far, like, even though Spider-Man 2 didn't live up to the expectations, it's still a good game. Like, let's not be like, obtuse about it. It's a good game. It's just it had astronomical expectations to fulfill, and it just didn't. And that's no fault of Insomniac. That's just, how things are. Like, if you have such a good game in Spider-Man, people expect the next one to be that much greater. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But Wolverine is looking to be something truly special and unique. And I hope they can deliver, because I'm sure everybody have seen it already, the leaks and stuff like that. It left a lot to be desired, but the leaks were very early, and it's like,
Very early.
yeah, very, very early. So hopefully that's you can chalk it up to.
Yeah.
Um, I'm very um I'm looking forward to seeing how the game will play on like on a level to level basis. Cause like, is it gonna be linear? I'm assuming it's gonna be linear because I don't think you can do an open world type Wolverine game. Maybe they'll do like sections that are open world, but I don't think you can do like a Spider-Man type world with Wolverine. That just doesn't make sense to me.
To
If
be
you make
honest,
it
I
more
don't want that.
No, I don't. I don't. I think
Yeah.
the best way to do it is make it linear, make it so that way you can go level to level and just go through it. Don't make it where you have to do tasks for certain people and then you get rewards and stuff like that. Like that's not what this game should be. It should be focused. Um it should be like it should just be linear and that there's nothing wrong with that. I'm also interested in seeing more of the combat because we were talking about it before. Like they it was a very strategically edited
Yeah,
trailer. They didn't
yeah.
show much of anything.
They
They
kept
showed
re-showing the same scenes over and over.
Yeah, I mean that could just be chalked up to them like not wanting to reveal certain things about the game. But I think I'm waiting for a deep dive. I'm sure there's going to be another state of play that's going to go deep into it. I will be watching that one where they talk about the mechanics and the combat and stuff like that because on the surface it looks similar to and I'll say cuz a lot of people compare like oh it's just the same as Spider-Man. It is not the same as Spider-Man because Spider-Man was more like versatile, like you can do aerial combat and you had powers that you can do ranged attacks and stuff like that. Wolverine is more of like an up close and personal type of combat. So I feel like a better comparison would be Batman, where you did like go up and beat up people and then you moved on to the next one. I think that's a more better comparison and that's what it looked like. So I'm hoping that's the case. Because if so, that could be fun. I love that combat in the Arkham games.
Yeah.
Um, but I think we just got to see more of it. What we saw should be seen as a teaser. They had some reveals. Obviously, Mystique is going to be involved. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but if you saw the leaks, you know there's more going to be involved. Um, so I think there's more to show, and I'm looking forward to it. This was a good first showing of Wolverine outside of the the teaser trailer that we got how 4 years ago or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was something crazy, and that everybody every year people were asking about it, and now we finally got it, and it's coming out next year. So next year is gonna be honestly, it's probably gonna be like one of the goatest years of gaming in general because now we got Wolverine, we got GTA 6, we got Fable, we got hopefully Gears E-Day, we got um what else? Like there's so many other games that are coming out that I'm like forgetting about. Um it's gonna be a great year next year, and our wallets better be prepared. But and, yeah, I'm this showcase definitely or the state of play, it was saved by Wolverine, and I'm gonna say it. I mean, we'll talk more about it in a little bit. This was better than the Xbox showcase for the first time in such a long time. I actually felt better about a state of play than an Xbox show.
Well, let's jump right into it because that's our next topic is the Tokyo Game Show from Xbox. Now, Tokyo Game Show is a all week thing, and they have very different um showcases happening, and they show a bunch of different games as well as where you can get your hands on in certain venues with playing games. So Xbox is just a small part of the Tokyo Game Show, and I I was talking to a friend of mine, and she mentioned how she views the Tokyo Game Show as like a side quest, not like some big major
Yes.
showcase. So when you think of it like that, of course it's not gonna be like the biggest and the best. But we did get to see. Let's talk about what we did get to see at the showcase. for the Tokyo Game Show. We got to see Gungrave Gore, or Blood Heat, which is sort of going to be a reimagining of the original that came out in 2022, which was Gungrave Gore, just regular. So they're updating it with modern combat and modern visuals. I played Gungrave Gore; it just wasn't for me, so I don't know how this will translate. We also get to see a little bit more about 007 First Light, which I'm excited for. I don't know about you guys, but I saw the first big deep dive that they showed about 2 weeks ago. Super excited for this game. So get to see a little bit more of First Light. They showcase an Anemo, which is like a
Animo, yeah.
Anemo. Yeah, it's a creature wrangling game. It looks very interesting. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I got to see more of it. I'm sure we'll see more of it in the coming
Let's not get
weeks.
too excited about it because we don't know how Nintendo's gonna react.
Yeah, definitely. We got to see Double Dragon Revive, which is it launches actually next month on the 23rd, which is it looks like just the old school beat 'em up Double Dragon. If you like Double Dragon, you'll probably like this. It did look really cool. I was like, "Oh man, that looks cool." They showcased a DLC from Hitman World of Assassination. It was Bruce Lee you're gonna be partnering up with Bruce Lee to take down the dragon. So that's interesting for anybody who likes Hitman. Hitman is huge. Hitman has a
Yes.
huge following, a lot of fans. So adding iconic characters like Bruce Lee into it will only bolster its player base and fandom. We got to see Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2, which are coming to Xbox next month. Monster Hunter Stories were never at least for the first two are not on Xbox, so it's nice to see that they'll be coming on Xbox in November.
Mhm.
They showcase Sudden Strike 5, which if you like these tactical top-down war games, that's for you. It's definitely not for me. They showed Hotel Barcelona, which looked really interesting, very weird, but really interesting. I want to see more of that. It's supposed to be out already now as of recording. It says September 26th, so I'm gonna look up more into that game because that looked really cool. Um, they showed Project Evil Bane, which is a new 3D hack and slash fantasy game. Um, they showed some more updates from Ninja Gaiden 4, which will be launching on PC and consoles in October 21st, so next month. They showcase some updated areas and visuals for Japan and Microsoft Flight Simulator. Um, they also showcase Dragon Quest 1 and 2, HD 2 remake, Fatal Frame 2, Terminal Brigade, and an indie game called Rhythm Doctor, which
That one stood out to me because
really,
there. Yeah, I don't know why. I think it reminds me of. Have you heard of Rhythm Heaven for
yeah,
Nintendo? Yeah,
yeah,
that's what it reminded me of, and like I don't know. I just something about it just stuck out to me. Maybe it was just the editing and the way they transition stuff.
yeah.
It
It did
just
look
I don't know.
cool.
It looks
It did
really
look
cool.
it did look interesting for sure. Right? It caught my eye, but I was like, I'll wait to see more about that. You know,
Yeah.
um, Winter Burrow they showcase, which comes out November 12th. Now they showcased this game before in a bigger showcase. They announced
It was
it.
in the summer showcase, yeah.
Yes, and I was interested, and now I was like, okay, I want to see more of this game. That's coming to Game Pass day one, so you'll be able to check it out. They had a quick update and look at Black Ops 7, which of course is coming out in November. Age of Mythology, Heavenly Spear they showcased, as well as Mistfall Hunter. That was interesting to see. I want to see more of that game. And they ended the showcase with sort of like a one more thing, a little quick teaser of Forza Horizon 6 and it's set in Japan. Just like the rumors were talked about, they were legit, and I'm super excited about this. Forza Horizon is probably my favorite racing game series of all time. They do amazing work with the visuals, the cars, and the gameplay itself. Forza Horizon 6 being set in Japan is huge, absolutely huge. You get to drive around the cities like of Tokyo, and then head to the mountain ranges, and it's gonna be absolutely awesome. They have so many different biomes and different landscapes to showcase out in Japan settings. So I'm looking forward to Forza Horizon 6.
Yeah, this was definitely like the highlight of the show.
Yeah.
I just wish it wasn't leaked or spoiled right before the show started. Literally, because I had to work early that day, so I woke up early. I woke up like an hour before the show started because on the East Coast it started at 6 a.m. So like I was already going to work, so I was like, oh okay, let me see like when it starts and stuff like that. And then I look up and Forza Horizon 6 was leaked on, I think, on Instagram. They had an ad that played that basically just announced it. And I was just like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I can expect to see that." um but yeah, I obviously, like, this is a huge deal that people were asking for years. This is like been asking for since like Forza Horizon 4, I believe.
No, I think
Um
since 3 was announced, people wanted.
Yeah, it was. I know it was a heavily requested thing that people wanted from the Forza Horizon games, and I'm glad that they're finally doing it. Obviously, the Tokyo Game Show seems like the best place to announce that, and I'm looking forward to seeing like what this game has in store in terms of like the like you said, the biomes and the environments and stuff like that. Not there's gonna be street racing. I'm hopefully
Oh
I'm
yeah.
hoping for. And I'm telling you, I mentioned it last week. If we hear the freaking Fast and Furious, the ding 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 ding, that will be perfect. Like if that song is in the soundtrack, it'll be perfect.
You're so silly.
But
All right, that was the end of the showcase, Forza Horizon 6. I think overall, I'll give the Xbox Tokyo Game Showcase. I'll give it a 5.5.
I'm gonna be a little bit more generous. I'll give it a 6. I
Oh,
think I think it's not like so like when you said when you spoke to your friend about it, like I think it's not like the biggest showcase. It is for Xbox in a sense that they are trying to break into that market, and
yeah,
they're trying to make that a focal point for the brand.
yeah.
And so I do think the Tokyo Game Show is something that they need to focus on more. But it's kind of hard. And this is also something that uh PlayStation had as well in the state of play. There's a lot of anime games,
Yeah.
and they kind of look very similar to each other. And it's kind of hard to differentiate them because they look so
Be
alike.
careful now. Be
I know.
careful now.
Listen. I'm not throwing shade. I'm not hating. If you like those games, more power to you. You have a lot to look forward to. But in the grand scheme of things, when you see a lot of those games side by side, back to back, you're just like, okay, what else is there? Because, like, honestly, and I felt the same way back when every game was like a first person shooter. Every game was trying to be the next Call of Duty. And it was so boring. And it's like, what? Do something else, please. And I don't want to say like that the Japanese studios should, and granted it wasn't just Japanese studios. They said they were showcasing South Korean studios and Chinese studios and stuff like that. But it's like, I don't know, like maybe it's just they're what is popular over there is not what I'm into. So I can only give my opinion on it. I'm sure others will feel different. But
Boo.
boo me, I get it. I'm the villain here. But I wanted to see a little bit more. I think when I think like Japanese studios, and it's also a shame because like a few days ago, we just saw the trailer for OD.
Yeah.
The first trailer for that was phenomenal. And I was like, my mouth was like on the floor with how amazing that trailer looked. And I cannot wait to hear more about it. If they would have saved that for this show, it would have been like, it would have put it over the top. The same way I feel that Wolverine saved the state of play, that would have saved this show. And it would have made it the best. Like, I mean, it wouldn't have made it the best. Like, it would have gotten me more hyped.
Yeah.
But the fact that we got it a few days earlier, I mean, I'm still excited for it, obviously. But I just don't, maybe they, it was a Kojima thing. They let him announce it on his own show. They were just like, you could do it, fine. But
I agree with you. If they would have showed it at the Tokyo Game Show, it would have definitely been about the same as I felt about the state of play. It would have been about a 7, you know?
Yeah, I would have given it a 7 if that was
Yeah.
like the one more thing, or maybe they did a one more thing to the one more thing. Like they announced Forza and they're like, wait a minute. We got one more thing. I promise it's just one more thing. And then they showed OD, like, that it would have been over the top.
Yeah,
But
because we know that Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond all met with Hideo Kojima, and they were there. So it's like you could have added that, and your Tokyo Game Show would have been more well received.
yeah, I think I mean, in fairness, I think everyone at Xbox is trying to cater to Kojima right now. They're giving him everything that he wants because they know the importance of having him associated with your brand. And I think they don't want to jeopardize that. So if Kojima says, hey, I'm going to do a special show and I want to show off the trailer there, they're going to say yes. Like you don't say no to Kojima. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't.
otherwise, I mean, listen, you don't want it happened. We can move past it. But that being said, I do think of the two shows that they showed, I mean, we've had comparisons before, and usually it's always sided towards Xbox because they just seem to have a little bit more. This year was different. I feel like Wolverine kind of helped the state of play be the better show overall. And I think Xbox has a lot more work to do in terms of the Japanese aspect, but they're still doing it, and that's what I applaud them for. That they're still trying and they're still doing the Tokyo Game Show. And I hope they continue to do that because this shows it's more of a show for like game developers to trust in the Xbox brand. Because for so long we've heard so many Japanese studios that just decided to skip Xbox because they just don't see value in building that brand or building their audience on that brand. But you need to do it if you want to build that brand or build that audience. So it's like having the backing of Xbox and showing and having them support you, that goes a long way. I will say though, one thing that was interesting, there wasn't a lot of Game Pass representation as there was in previous shows. It was more about play anywhere.
Yes, play anywhere.
And that is good as well. I mean, as much as I love Game Pass, you don't have to market a game as being like available on Game Pass. I'm willing to spend money on games if they look interesting. And the fact that they will be play anywhere is a better selling point for me than in just being in Game Pass. Yes, I have the ability to play these games, but being able to play it wherever I am, like on my ROG Ally, on my PC, on mobile, through cloud, on my console, that for me is a better selling point. And I'm kind of glad that they're focusing in on that because as we go forward, we're going to have to see that more often. And I think, I mean, we didn't talk about it much about the well, actually, we didn't talk about it at all, about the Xbox not being sold at like Costco and stuff like that.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's more of it's more of a not tempering expectation, but like weaning people off of the old ecosystem and bringing them into what Xbox sees as the future for the Xbox brand, which is play anywhere. And I think that's what it is. Like, I think now they're starting to. I mean, they've already raised prices twice this year for Xbox consoles, so I do think they understand that they're probably not going to sell as many consoles anymore. But I also think that next gen is coming a lot sooner than we anticipate. So I think ultimately they're trying to get people used to the idea that Xbox is an ecosystem that exists in multiple platforms, and whatever they have showing, or whatever they have to show next for like next gen hardware and stuff like that, is gonna encompass that mindset. So it's best to wean people off now and kind of sort of prevent them from buying like consoles now, because those consoles are not going to be as capable as the next gen consoles. Because think about it, like when this gen started, everybody was talking about the last gen holding this gen back. And everybody's, oh, why are they doing last gen ports? We're in 2025 still getting Xbox One and PS4 games. Like it's unheard of. Like, we've never experienced this long of an attachment to the last gen before. And I think Xbox wants to like get ahead of that. And the only way to do it is to make essentially kind of like what's the word? Cannibalize your own sales, in the hopes that like whatever future hardware you have will entice them enough to be like, okay, I couldn't get a Series X in 2025, but in 2026, I can get this console or this platform that will be even better because it'll be able to play every game that I have, whether it be on PC, Xbox, or cloud or whatever. And I think that's the play. Obviously, we don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. But that's the only thing that makes sense. Why they would basically be like killing off their own console. Because if Xbox if Xbox was trying to get out of the console business, they wouldn't have partnered up with AMD.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have to do that. They could just publish their games on PC and be done with it. But no, they are investing in the future of hardware. It's just what that hardware looks like is what is kind of up in the air right now. We don't know much. So I think going forward, we will hear more about that. It's just hard. And that's the one thing that Microsoft has always been like, it's always been frustrating with, because like they'll say a bunch of stuff, but it's like, it's always up in the air. And then like they'll release something and then be like, oh, that's what they were doing before. It's like, it's always after the fact. But they're never upfront about this stuff, which, I mean, I guess they don't have to be, but it's very frustrating as a consumer to like see them make moves and then you're like, where are they going with this? And eventually they get there, but it's just like, why couldn't you just say it? Like, we we would have been there with you. We would have understand if you just said it. But for whatever reason, they just don't say it. They'd rather just keep it to themselves and announce it when it's ready. But I don't know. I mean, that's a higher level for me to like think about it. But um yeah, I forgot what we were talking about originally.
Well, originally you were talking about the showcase, and then sales brought up, and then Costco not selling Xboxes anymore. Honestly, about the Costco not selling Xbox, the Xbox that's that were they were selling in Costco were like bundles, because Costco's a bulk
Wholesale, yes.
wholesaler. Why would they want to sell big bundles anymore for a console that is, one, not selling as much as it was when it launched, and then potentially they could be working on getting new stock for their new console that they're working on currently. So there's a lot of things we don't know about the whole Costco and console sales things. Honestly, it doesn't matter. 5 years into the generation, if you don't have an Xbox already, you're probably not going to buy an Xbox. You know, you also don't need to, since everything's an Xbox anyway. If you just on your phone, your tablet, just like you can play anywhere. So again, it really just, if you want to spend the money on it, spend the money on it. If you don't, that's cool too. I don't care. I got
And
an Xbox
honestly,
and I'm playing Xbox.
it's still the cheapest way to experience like next gen games, or I guess current gen, through the Series S. So yeah, you can spend a little bit more money, and maybe you can get what right now I think the Series S is like 400 right now, right?
Yeah.
In the US at least. So
Yeah.
yeah, you could spend a little bit more and get a Switch, but obviously you're getting a Switch 2. You're getting you have to make a trade-off for that because it's not the most capable console. Like there's still limitations to it. But yeah, it's still the cheapest way to get your game. So I think they're still gonna go after that market. And I'm obviously they're still being sold elsewhere. They're still selling at Walmart and Target and all that stuff. Costco, I mean, granted, they haven't officially commented on this stuff, so it's kind of just like guessing at this point. Like, I mean, I know was it Destin Legary? He contacted Costco directly and talked to them, but like he's contacting a retail store. They don't know anything. Like we've worked in retail. They don't tell us shit. So if we're supposed to tell you stuff, like don't listen to us, please. I mean, unless you're like looking for something in particular that we will just go back and tell you no, that we don't have it, even though we do have it. We're just being lazy. Um, just don't listen to us, please, or don't listen to retail workers or anybody working in retail. They genuinely don't know anything about the corporate level stuff. So, and then he even said he was the one who said that the ROG Ally was gonna be 900, and clearly he was wrong because the retail workers were wrong. They don't know anything. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, that's
the show.
that was the Tokyo Game Show. But and yeah, that's this show because I think that was the last story.
Yep.
That being said, if you're listening to us on a podcasting app, you can rate us and share us around. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And you can look in the description, see our sponsors, W Energy, NordVPN, and StarForge PCs. You can save some money off of products and services, subscriptions, all that nice stuff. It'll definitely benefit you if you do so, and it'll help us. And we thank them, and we thank you. I think that's it. And we'll see you guys next week. Oh, one more thing. I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna try to live stream.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be uploaded on Sunday, the 28th. So if you're listening to this, I may be live streaming this day later on, depending on I might be live streaming right now. You don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna try. I had some issues with OBS. I may have to switch streaming platforms, but we'll see. I'm gonna try, but stay tuned.
All right.
But either way, you'll see us next week on the next podcast. See you
This
then.
is Slim
Peace out.